Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today, we're going to be talking about the Schedule tab, how to schedule a dash. We're going to talk about why you may not be able to schedule a dash, the early access scheduling, and I'm also going to throw in a lot of pro tips on how to use your schedule in such a way to always stay busy and to not get caught in some of the manipulations that DoorDash tends to use with the DoorDash scheduling and all the pausing that happens, and how to use the schedule to counteract the pausing factor that DoorDash has introduced. Now, without further ado, let's start with how to schedule or edit a dash. Learn how to schedule dash. There's this whole video about it, basically saying everything below. Again, the links are all in the description, so you can always just read from there. Schedule dash. In the Dasher app, go to the Schedule tab. If Dash Now button says Schedule Dash, you can do the scheduling from there too. If you can't Dash Now per se, you can schedule a dash from the Dash Now page. So with that said, I personally just go through the Schedule tab myself. Well, when I was a Doordash driver. But for the most part, I always went through the Schedule tab. In the Available tab, you'll see the upcoming days of the week at the top. Select a day. You can choose a starting point and available times for your dash. If your preferred time is not shown, we've reached scheduled dasher capacity for that time slot. Our schedule is constantly updating, and we suggest checking back later or choosing another starting point. So I do want to be clear, in some markets, basically any shifts available. Down here, almost every shift was available until the next day. However, there are some markets, like the one I had in New York. I live in Florida now. I used to live in New York, where if you didn't schedule yourself the day it came out, you're gonna lose a lot of time because of it. Once you see a dash you like, tap on it to select the preferred start and end times within the given time frame. Basically, what you would have to do is choose when you start and choose when you end. Now, a lot of people like to do what I call just day scheduling, where they just choose their starting point and then they kind of leave the end point to like 4 a.m. or like midnight, whatever is available to them. And they will go for as long as they can. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that you shouldn't do that. If you do plan to drive until midnight or 4 a.m., that's all you. But I know I cut out at about 10, sometimes 11. And yeah, sometimes I'll push it to 12. So don't schedule yourself for times you know you're not going to. Nope, step 5 is save dash. But that being said, I was working on a theory before I started this channel because I wanted to have a bunch of things started, and then DoorDash wrongfully deactivated me. But I was working on this theory of, if you're not utilizing your full schedule, how is DoorDash combating that? And one of the things I ended up doing was I ended up just breaking up the shifts that I had. 8 to 10:30, 11 till 1:30, 2 till 4:30, and then 5 till whenever I was done, which was midnight. Now, not everybody drives like me. I liked the 14-hour day work schedule, but what I noticed was the more time I didn't utilize, the less orders I would get. So the question wasn't how many orders was I accepting, is how much of my schedule am I really utilizing? Because I'll tell you what, when I took a 5 to 7:30 a.m. shift, and then I just never got any orders, that ruined the whole day. I don't know what it was, and I can't confirm it. However, that was what I was noticing with the Schedule tab. Now, how to delete or edit a schedule dash. We understand things may come up and you need to delete or edit the start of a dash to schedule your dash. You can do it within the app. Go to schedule, tap the days you have scheduled, so you go from available to the Schedule tab. Scroll through the times and tap the dash you'd like to delete or edit. To delete, tap on the delete in the top right corner. To edit the start or end time, tap on the time, select the new time, done, then save dash. So I want to be clear. Some people may just decide not show up, wait half an hour, and then it just drops because they'll never worry about you anyway. I think they dock you for that. They don't say they dock you, but I know I had ended up feeling a little pulled back whenever I decided not to show up to a dash. But when I deleted the dash, it wasn't a big deal. If you don't see a city and time that works for you, i.e. can't schedule a dash, this means we have enough people and we have enough dashers on the road for your preferred area and time. Check back later as another time slot may open up. So one thing I do want to say is that they clearly say it means they have enough dashers on the road. That doesn't mean the area is busy. That doesn't mean they have a lot of orders. Have you ever seen like the very busy screen and then you go in and you're like, okay, where's the orders? That's not because you chose to dash now at that time. It's not like they have a certain priority for you. It's that they just don't have orders for you. Usually you'll see more of that in the late nights and the early mornings. Maybe even that awkward 2 to 4:30 shift. That's just me personally. In my area, 2 4:30 is just dead. Remember that you can always sign into the app at any time and dash now if available. So, yeah, that was exactly what I'm saying. Just because you can dash now doesn't mean there are orders. Dash now isn't available. It means we have reached the number of dashers needed in that area. What I'm noticing is that the schedule tab, and any kind of scheduling, dash now, or even the starting points as a whole, they're not so worried about having a lot of dashers in the area. They're more worried about maintaining the dasher to order flow ratio properly. And I'm sure everything's algorithmic and they can't really control it as well as they would like to claim they could. But that is what I've noticed. If you have a previous dash schedule, you will not be able to schedule a new dash or extend a current dash within 30 minutes of the scheduled dash start. This gives you enough time to head to that scheduled area. Now, I do want to be clear. This applies to Doordash Drive as well. This is what makes Doordash Drive a little awkward when it comes to pre-claim deliveries. Because if you schedule a dash 30-minute, like let's say it ends at 1:30 and the order is expected to be picked up at 1:59, you can't take the order, which is stupid and frustrating. And I really think it needs to be reevaluated. But again, what is Doordash gonna say? Oh, it sounds like you should have been a top dasher. Top dashers don't have to schedule themselves, right? I'm Tony. That's just mean. Why can't I schedule a dash or extend a dash or dash now? Like, what happens if you can't do all three, right? Well, there's two scenarios here that they describe. If you're a new dasher and have now received a welcome email from Doordash stating that your account is activated, that the app and its features will be limited. So you need to complete the dasher sign-up process and set up your red card to activate your account. Yeah, just because you have access to the account, like the actual features in the tab itself, doesn't mean you can start dashing yet. I didn't realize this because when DoorDash offices were a thing, you had to set up everything there before you even left. I don't know if DoorDash offices are really gonna come back, but I ended up looking into it recently. Like, I ended up just doing a search. The one near me just totally shut down. They don't plan on reopening it. That's here in South Florida. Even though you may not have received your red card yet, you may be in a market that allows you to instant dash without having an activation kit. So when I ended up referring a friend down here, he ended up not getting his startup kit yet, but he was able to instant dash because there was just that much demand down here. This may apply to you. You may not need your red card yet. However, I would still just get it just in case. I wouldn't argue with it. Existing dashers. You can dash now or schedule a dash for later. When dashing, drive to a hotspot to maximize your opportunity to receive orders. Now, I made a whole video about hotspots that they just no. You can also edit or delete an existing dash. Yeah, so this is basically how to schedule a dash in a nutshell. Early access scheduling. What is early access? So early access is really the only benefit that I see that doesn't directly correlate to acceptance rate, and is probably one of the best things that a cherry picker can ask for. So early access scheduling allows qualified dashers to access the dasher schedule 6 days in advance, beginning at 3 p.m. each day. I recommend setting your schedule up at that time. I cannot tell you the number of times I ended up missing really good orders because my schedule did not allow for it. Just a thought. If you have to set up an alarm in your phone, that's something I did. I set up an alarm on my phone that set off at 3 p.m. every day. And I didn't care what I was doing. I would pull over if I had to, just schedule myself in and just go on and do it. Program is now active across the United States and Canada. How do I qualify? There are 2 ways to qualify for early access. You qualify if you have a customer rating of at least 4.6. If you have a customer rating less than 4.6, honestly, I don't know how to help you. I made an entire video about customer ratings. I think that if you are less than 4.6, I think it is generally unreasonable that you would end up in a situation to where you're down that badly. Completion rate of at least 95. If you are the type of person that isn't patient that for certain orders and you're just willy-nilly just unassigning orders because you have to wait an extra 6 minutes, calm down, wait for the order, get the job done. If you accept an order, complete it. It's not that big a deal. And have accepted and completed at least 5 deliveries on the Doordash platform between 12 a.m. the previous Friday and 11:59 on the previous Thursday. And the only other situation where you wouldn't qualify in that case is if Doordash ends up screwing up, which happens all the time. There is one other way, and it's basically, and they say it here, customer rating, completion rating, and have accepted at least 500 lifetime deliveries on the platform. I would say, in my opinion, 500 deliveries is fair. I don't want early access to be available to some tool who just signed up, that is all excited and just wants to get going on Doordash. No, I want them to actually put in the work and earn early access, in a sense. Don't just be like one of those people that try it for a week and then disappear. What happens if I don't qualify? If you are not qualified for early access, the following week you will be able to access 5 days in advance as opposed to 6, beginning at 12 a.m. every day. I will tell you the few times where I scheduled myself at midnight, I just was tired all the time. I know there was a lot of people that did that and just like chopped up the like whole thing, and they ended up with a lot of really good shifts. But not everybody has this problem. I had this problem in New York. For example, if you did not qualify for early access on Saturday 12 a.m., you'll be able to see Thursday's schedule. Qualification is based on deliveries accepted between, yeah, they said that. Qualification also is based on the functionality of Doordash. Why can't I see the schedule 6 days out if I qualify for early access? Early access I love the excuses Doordash gives. Early access qualifying dashers are refreshed every Friday and will last through the following Thursday. If you qualify midweek, you will not be added to the program until Friday. Basically the same thing as top dashers. It's not like you can just hop in the middle of the week. You basically have to qualify at Thursday at midnight. There may be no available slots on the schedule in your area. In some markets, the schedule can fill up within a few minutes of being released. That was my problem in New York. Down here is amazing. Well, the qualification standards change. So basically this is Doordash's legal disclaimer saying we could do what the heck we want and we will change them if we have to. I can't imagine this getting changed in the long term. If it does, Doordash is really going downhill, man. Quickly talking about that pro tip I gave earlier about breaking up the shifts. So a lot of people, what they would do is that they would like put the whole thing down. And what another thing that ends up doing is it only gives you one 35-minute pause if you need it. Like I know that some people use the pause for multi-apping or whatever. And then what they would do is that they would unpause and repause it and resets the timer. Sometimes Doordash has this tendency to tinker with that, to where sometimes you could do that and sometimes it'll restart at the moment in which you stopped it. For example, let's say you use 25 of your 35 minutes. That means it'll restart at 15. So what I did was I broke up the schedule. That also gave me 35, 35, 35, 35 in the event that they screwed with me. I ended up being able to dash for as much as I want for as long as I want. And another benefit of that was if I needed to step out at any time, let's say my family needed help for like 2 to 4:30 and I needed to step out and go back in. It's not like I lost the whole day. It's like I lost a small shift because I ended up scheduling myself in such a way. That's really all I have for you this video. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.